Yes, people, we have got DeJam Reloaded, the movie, right? Took a look at this, and partly because it's from Daniel Glen-Barbour, right? Friend of the show. You know what I mean? We took a look at Yes Man, his feature directorial debut back in 2021. So this is the third feature from Daniel. You know what I mean? So, as I said, yeah, we took a look, right? So Daniel Glen-Barbour wrote and directed the piece. It is produced by Angelique Niparella. Um, who is, a long-time collaborator of Glen-Barbour's, and it's executive produced by Anthony Brightly. Now, the IMBD page is a little scarce, so we don't have all the other information. I can give you the cast though, right? So, Eric is played by Keon Martial-Phillip. His brother, Inova, is played by Brian Busu. His sister, Ella, is played by Yinka Fede. His girlfriend, Trisha, is played by Christelle Kalungula. We've got who his aunt May is played by Alison Bramble. There's T, played by Gavin Bennett. Gary, played by Callum Chiplin. We've got Destiny, played by Eva Lawrence. Darius, played by Michael Mumdu. Big P, played by Sadiq Said. And our taxi driver on the island, played by Jason Brown. And T is played by Gavin Bennett. So the gist is what else do we have? Yeah. The gist is this. Eric, an aspiring DJ and producer, gets tired of constant rejection from local club promoters in London. With a baby on the way, he takes his last shot to push his career and get noticed. He decides to go to the iconic DeJam Festival in Antigua. The trip gets filled with hurdles as Eric discovers surprising family news. The film also features Heartless Crew, Rory Stone Love, Cold Steps, DJ Super D, DJ Pioneer, Sir DJ Corey, Rocky Boss, Kelly LaRock, Sir Vinium, Dimpz&Lawz, DJ Slyster, Sir George, Tyrone Melody, Mr. Dags, Set the Trend, and a whole host of other big time DJs and MCs and all of that jam. So, because, right, I will say Daniel Glen-Barbour is a friend, right? Man, like ever since Yes Man, we had a great conversation about that. He's been on the podcast. I think he's been on 3 times now. Right? Always can have a good conversation with Daniel. So there is that trepidation when you are covering someone you likes things, because you gotta be honest, right? You can't just be like, yo, this was perfect. This was 10 out of 10. This is the best, because you gotta keep that integrity there. Like, I don't expect you to trust my opinion on things if I'm telling you something that isn't great is incredible. So it's going in and, no blinkers, right? No prejudice, like I try and do with most films. Well, every film, should I say. But I can say I definitely enjoyed this. I definitely enjoyed this, right? It's an interesting thing because our cast are great. Our cast are really good. When you think about the emotional journey that we see throughout this, and not just with Eric, right? Because his siblings, Inova and Ella, are very big on that, right? Aunt May, who has to give some news, right? There's just all of these people where we see a lot from these people, and they hit you with that, right? A lot of times with certain films, especially like a lot of indie films, when you have the family and all of that, there's not always that vibe, right? You don't always believe that these people are blood, that these people are connected in a way, right? There's emotion here. But here you do. You get that from all those it just from the beginning, right? Just from the beginning, when Ella's like, yo, can you turn the music down? I'm trying to do hair next door, right? It's said in that way where you're just like, yo, that's a sibling right there, you know? And that's a huge part of this film, because if we don't get those connections, this film doesn't work. You know what I mean? Because it's built on that. It's not just this exploration. Yes, exploration of self for Eric. It's not just that him trying to find and build this career. No, because we have all of this family, family trauma, right? This hurt, this truth, this reality built in, so it's an interesting ride that we are on, and that's the thing that hits the most, right? I feel, because the career stuff, we get shown through at the beginning. There's like montage of him at work, going for interviews, things like that, and we see him throw away his tie. I mean, very petulant. Like, shit ain't cheap, man. Just throwing a good tie away. I mean, to be real, it wasn't a nice tie, so But yeah, it was. So we see that, and you look at it. There's a lot of this that reminds me of Hustle and Flow. Right? You could say this is this generation's Hustle and Flow, but I feel with more emotional impact than Hustle and Flow. I mean, our main character, there is a similarity in the fact that they want something, but they're not necessarily doing everything to get it. You know what I mean? It's like Eric is all about being a producer, but it's just in shit that he's saying that doesn't always make sense. Like his brother's like, yo, I like what you're doing, man. Good set. But, are you going to work on other tunes? He's just like, I only need one. And it's just like, it's a weird mentality to have. You know what I mean? Because, okay, your one track hits, your one track blows up. What are you following that with? Right? How are you keeping that momentum? You know what I mean? What are you doing? And if you want people to have faith in you, surely you want to come with a catalog. You want to come with enough tracks so they can see, oh, that wasn't a fluke, right? My man's serious. My man's got tracks. He's been working. It shows an ethic. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of things he's wanting, right? Wanting to do, but you don't necessarily feel that he's done all the groundwork, you know? Just the whole dub plate thing. Like, I know about dub plates. I ain't even a DJ like that. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of things that he's just not prepared on. But you do see the frustration, right? You see the passion, you see the stupidity, you see the frustration. We do see a range of emotions with that part of the story. But yeah, family is a big thing here. And I think what we see demonstrated are those different facets of family, right? We've got his brother and sister, we've got his aunt, we've got his girlfriend. And so there's those different responsibilities, those different connections. They're all important, they're all viable, and they're all different, right? Bringing different constraints, right? Different burdens with them. And those are very well demonstrated, you know? And I feel with Eric, we definitely see the fact that he's not considering a load of those different things, right? His girlfriend's pregnant, but there isn't that thought of, okay, the responsibility, the financial aspect of that. We can see he's not thought of that, right? There's stuff that he's, frustrated about family, but you then think to yourself, right? You clearly have people that love you. Clearly have people that love you. So that's the important thing, right? That's the takeaway here. You didn't have this hard life. You had support, you had the love. That's the thing you have to remember. And I think that's the impactful thing that the film definitely shows us. Right? We have this petulant, emotionally, inept kid. But with this scaffolding around him, even though he's not looking to utilize it at first, it's there. It's there holding him up. His brother, his sister, his girlfriend, all of these things are there. And that is really powerful. Really powerful, right? With the club scenes, right? We see gatherings, we see club nights, we see the festival. That is captured really well. Is captured really well because a lot of times with these things, we see like a nightclub, right? And they're like, yo, last night was pumping. But the nightclub scene, we see about 10 people, right? So much space. And we've been to club nights, right? Where you're just squashed in like sardines. It's so hot, like condensation is dripping from the ceiling. That's the vibe, man. But in a lot of scenes, you don't get that. In this, you got that. You got the energy. I'm watching this. I'm like, I might need to go to fucking Antigua. Right? That's what this film did. Made me want to go to Antigua. And I don't even like the heat, people. You know what I mean? But I'm like, yo, I think I might need to go to DeJam. So they captured those. And the other nice little thing, because everyone's on their phone now, right? So when you go to a gig, everyone's like recording it, watching it through the phone rather than that experience. And we see that utilized here. And that really did help cement the vibe and the atmosphere. So that was great. Right. Another nice little moment and really emphasized what Eric needs to do was when he's in the car on the island, right? When he's all frustrated and then he looks out the window and he gets out the car and he's just like, damn, it's beautiful here, And it's that thing where he's rushing, but you just need to take that moment and soak in and appreciate what's actually in front of you. You know, there are some, bits of the film. Like the film is just under 60 minutes, right? So it's very tight. It's not flabby, which is definitely good. There are some transitions that do seem a little quick, and there are some moments where things seem a little bit, they come a little bit too easy. Like the money for the trip, the DJ slots, things, those little bits. You're like, I mean, it's a little, that's a little, you know, what I mean? But for the majority of things, we have got some killer performances. We've got some well-crafted scenes, you know, that really bring the viewer in. And we have this poignant story. So if you are a fan of of music, oh, the music is good. The music is good as well. That gives you that little, ooh, okay, we're here to jam, right? That gives you that. So we have all of these really good elements of this film that when you look at this compared to Yes Man, you do see the evolution of Glen-Barbour. You do see that. So if you enjoyed Yes Man, if you have enjoyed his short films, right? If you liked Ain't Hiding Nothing, then you definitely want to check out DeJam Reloaded. As I said, it's kind of like this generation's Hustle and Flow, but with more heart. So there you go, people. Go check it. It's now available. There will be links on the website. So get some DeJam, the movie, in your life.